On today's episode, I want to talk about baby showers. I recently came back from the States where my mom threw my husband and I a beautiful baby shower. The whole experience sparked a really fascinating conversation about not only how the US and Germany conduct baby showers, but also Peru as well. So let's talk about it. Hello, Lieblings. I'm Mari, science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. Like I said in my intro, I was just back in the States for the month of June, and while I was there, my mom took the opportunity to throw us a baby shower. And of course, this was my German husband's first experience with an American baby shower, or since my mom organized it, does it count as a Peruvian baby shower? I mean, I think there are a lot of aspects of both, but we'll get to that. So I figured let's start with the history of American baby showers. So the term shower also relates to the term from bridal shower, where in the 19th century, gifts were put into a parasol so that the bride-to-be would open said parasol and would be thus showered with gifts. And then the term was adopted for baby showers. And in the States, the modern baby shower, or what we consider in the States modern baby shower, started around the 1940s, 1950s, after World War II, when these expectant mothers were giving birth to the baby boom generation. Traditionally, it was only for women and organized only by a close friend of the mama-to-be. It's not the case anymore. Now, it is more common to have mixed genders at the party, and relatives can also help organize, as long as it is, of course, still someone close to the mama-to-be, and in my case, it was my mom. Again, it is important to note that showers in the US, and not just the US, but like Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, they take place shortly before the baby is born. In our case, our baby shower was technically in the 6th month of my pregnancy, and usually baby showers in the States are done around the 8th month, so like shortly before the baby comes. But living abroad, timelines get altered, you just do what you gotta do. So with Germany, they don't really do baby showers at all. At least not how we in the US would perceive them. And I'm using this vague language because there are folks in Germany who have started to adopt this custom. There are photos on social media. They're there, but it's very seldom. Like they're outliers. I think this is on par with German culture in general in the way that they usually celebrate special occasions either on the day or after the fact, never before. They will only celebrate birthdays on the day, or, if you want a weekend, it has to always be the weekend after, even if it's like farther away than the weekend before, whatever. Or even around Christmas time, you don't wish someone Merry Christmas. Before Christmas, you say Frohe Adventszeit. So happy Advent because it's Advent leading up to Christmas. So celebrating a baby when there is no physical baby tracks. In Germany, it is customary for Germans to visit after the baby is born bearing gifts. Apparently, in medieval times, the closest thing to a baby shower would have likely been the christening or baptism, because that would have taken place shortly after the birth. But nowadays, baptisms don't necessarily happen that quickly anymore. So any gifts that come after the baby will be a pretty decent time after the birth. So photos of our very, very large baby shower had shown up on social media. So my friends in Germany got a glimpse of our little shindig. And by little, I mean 70 guests. It was not little. I was asked by my German friends the practicality of having a party when there's no baby. One of them went so far as to point out that it was just flat out weird. And I can see the German point of view concerning this. However, when I did research, I found out that the reason behind doing it beforehand also makes sense. So the idea behind a baby shower before the baby is born is to make sure that the family has everything they need for the baby. This also allows for friends and family the opportunity of showing their support as well as to pitch in if they want to. The problem is if you wait until the baby is born, no new parents in their right minds want to host folks just for the sake of getting stuff that they'll need for the baby. But then that forces them to wait too long, which means they will then have to buy the items themselves. Or if they get lucky and they'll have, relatives that will help, in that. But there's no party for it. It's just, the items just kind of arrive and show up. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad we did it beforehand. I mean, honestly, we can afford to buy all the stuff that we needed for our little one. But I don't know. It's just the culture I grew up in. So it was nice to be able to partake in it. And I was super grateful that my family and friends were able to take part and show their support. And I got so many beautiful things. And my mom also has a lot of friends, 70 guests, who also donated to the cause. So huge thanks to them. It was awesome. But I'm sure now, with so many guests, you're probably wondering, like, what were the logistics behind getting stuff from the States and bringing it back to Germany? Well, we planned for this, actually. We had actually set up a baby wish list through German Amazon and directed folks to purchase stuff there, especially the bigger items. That's how we were able to get the car seat that we wanted, or I wanted a baby Buren. I actually got a baby Buren, the where the kid can lay in, as well as I can only think of the German words. It's like the Liegesitz and the Kindertragen. And Germans understand what I'm talking about, but where the kid lays down, and then the baby carrier. And it was really nice to be, to get those big, more expensive items in Germany, because Germany also has these things. So there's, for a lot of stuff, it was no reason to buy them in the States when you can buy them in Germany. So thus, we made this list. And then they would order that, and it would automatically get shipped to our house in Germany, where my poor mother-in-law, had to deal with getting, I think it was 19 boxes that arrived by the time we came back. And we had to call her and warn her, stuff is coming. We're not ordering things. This is stuff for the baby. She was just like, what the hell is all this? It was funny. Anyway. I also gave them the email for my German PayPal account. So if they wanted to donate money instead, it would ensure that we would get it in euros. Despite all of that, yes, we still got a lot of physical gifts, as well as money in US dollars. We even got packages from Peru for my relatives there. It was quite a bit. But we were able to actually fit a big chunk of the stuff. We had our normal luggage, and then we each had, we had our backpacks, and then we had a carry-on. And we were actually able to fit, a lot. Because baby stuff is small, because it's mostly clothes, in our carry-on. That was pretty easy. And then my mom will actually, because she's coming... before the baby's born, she's coming through business class. So she actually has a second luggage, and she's just going to bring the rest of the items and some of the slightly bigger items that ended up arriving to the States and not to Germany. So while it was quite a few things, we were able to plan it in a way that didn't require us to get extra luggage or anything. It worked out. And I will say, we got a lot of handmade stuff, which was amazing. Beautiful, beautiful things, and stuff that I will keep for the rest of my unnatural life, just because, the love that went into these items. And in terms of clothes, I think it's safe to say we got enough to get her through her first year. It was quite a bit. I have I'm staring at the boxes right now because we organized them by age. So we'll start organizing more of our apartment upstairs, which if you are interested in how we are organizing our apartment, it's a 1-bedroom apartment for 3 of us. It was originally a bachelor pad because my husband had designed it before we even met. How we were organizing that to fit a baby. I can totally do a video on that. Let me know. Yeah. If you're okay, so at this point of my crazy ramblings, of course, just talking about the US and Germany, you're probably wondering where Peru fits into this picture. And of course, the topic came up while I was chatting with my Peruvian relatives about our baby shower. And it was mostly because I was calling them to thank them, because they also sent some beautiful, beautiful things. And for the most part, the baby shower in Peru is very similar to the States. You have a big party, lots of gifts that you open in front of guests, lots of oohs and ahs. There are games. I explicitly asked for no games in ours because some of the games get weird. I think one of the weirdest ones was putting baby food in diapers, and then you blindfold people, and then you have to taste the baby food from said diapers and guess what it is. Yeah, we're weird. I really don't want to take part of any of that. However, I did allow for two. One of them was guessing the size of my belly. So they were all had these like tape measures and they had to guess, which was funny. And then we had these strings of photos. It was photos of my husband and I at different ages, and the guests had to guess our ages. And part of that was because my husband has really cute baby photos and I love showing them off because he was such a cute baby. So I did it more for me than anything else. So I mean that part's very similar. However, where it does differ in Peru is that they actually host a second baby shower, and that is one for the menfolk. Essentially, it is an excuse for guys to get together to eat, drink, and be merry. However, they are also expected to bring diapers and wet wipes. And yes, they do talk about this and plan beforehand so that the new parents don't just get all of like one size. The end result for all of my cousins in Peru that are in my age group who have gone through this recently, because I have kids, they've all had kids within the last few years, is they end up having enough diapers and wet wipes to last the baby's first year. And that's pretty awesome because that's a huge investment. I also found out that this is a newer tradition in Peru, mostly, like I said, with my cousins that are my age, that are partaking in this tradition. It was not the case with my aunts and uncles. But I just thought that was really interesting. So I wanted to, part of the reason why I wanted to do this whole episode was just because seeing how, each culture goes about preparing for babies differently. In the end, it appears you would have two very different ways of thinking. You have US and Peru that kind of bring family and friends community together to help the parents get what they need beforehand. In Germany, because of the timing of things, it does feel like the responsibility pretty much completely falls on the new parents to get everything. Anything else that you would get from friends and family comes much, much later, and they're usually just smaller items. I could be wrong. It's an observation, and there could be something else in this whole bit that I am completely missing. So I would love Germans to weigh in on this. Also, I have to make note that our current due date is the beginning of Mooswiese. And if you've seen my vlogs on the subject, it is a very important and holy time in these parts of Germany. And I was talking with friends about it and teasing my husband, saying that Mooswiese is such an important event for him that we plan on having our kid be born during this time so we can have a heiliges hohenlohisches Kind. It was not planned like that. It was just a funny coincidence, but whatever. However, if the kid does come at that time or even shortly before, my husband will be expected to buy drinks for pretty much everyone who crosses his path at the festival. So essentially, all the money that we have saved from getting these things gifted to us will be going to make sure our friends don't die of thirst at the festival. And I remember thinking that and thinking, God, no wonder people in Germany wait so long to have kids. It's so expensive when you have to pay for all the baby equipment as well as the celebratory drinks and such, and whatever for your friends. But then again, you live in a country where your insurance pays for the actual birthing. So, meanwhile in the States, the birthing alone costs you an arm and a leg. So it is actually helpful to have friends and family pull together to help pay for other things. And then you have Peru that has nationalized health care where that's taken care of. And then they have family and friends to help pay for everything. So I think Peru's got the best deal, honestly. It's a really interesting thought how these three countries do it. But what do you guys think? Okay. Before I actually continue to the end of this, I have to make a quick shout out to my in-laws. Because while I've made the observation that it does feel like the majority of the financial obligation of buying baby stuff falls on the soon-to-be parents in Germany, I also have to count my blessings with my in-laws because they have held on to baby stuff for years, just in case my husband and I had a kid or multiple. I don't know if that's in discussion, but my mother-in-law showed me the stash of baby duvets, reusable diapers, washcloths, baby mattresses, and I am 1,000% certain there's a crib somewhere in this house that's been sitting around for a decade, if not more, just for us. And my brother-in-law has been holding on to their changing table just for us. And their twins are 8. Okay? Just to give you an idea of how long they've been holding on to it for us. It shows that German families do have their own way of helping out, but also it would require you having a family as awesome as my in-laws. Overall, I have to say, I feel that we've been very lucky between the US side, Peruvian side, and German side. I mean, we still have a few months to go before the little one gets here, but we feel very well taken care of. What about you? What do you think? What are your thoughts on all of this? And for those of you who have had kids, would you prefer to have things before, or would you rather follow tradition and wait afterwards? I guess in terms of gift giving, there are no wrong answers here, folks. It's just preference, and I would love to know your thoughts. So let me know in the comments below. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. It lets me and YouTube know that you like this kind of content and you want to see more. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. If you want more info on my books and newsletter, check them out in the description below. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it. Until next time, ade!